Myself, Mr. Sandesh Suresh Kirte, HOD Computer Technology Department, Brahmadev Dada Mane Polytechnic, Solapur. Today, I am going to deliver the lecture on types of an operating system, the subject operating system from a computer technology department, 5th semester. Already in a previous session, we have covered the concept, the component, and overview and views of an operating system. In today's session, we go through the types of an operating system. Basically, the operating system performs the tasks like managing a file, processes, memory, and the I/O devices. It also acts as a resource manager and manage the resources. The operating system provide the interface in between the user and the computer system. It also provide the efficient environment to execute user programs easily and efficiently. In this session, we discuss general properties, typical applications, basic requirements of a different types of an operating system. So let's start the types of an operating system. There are many types of an operating systems, but we go through only those which are mentioned in our syllabus contents, and these are the batch operating system, the multi-programmed operating system, the time-shared operating system, the multi-processor operating system, the distributed operating system, the real-time operating system, the mobile operating system. Among these, the batch operating system and the multi-programmed operating systems both are the non-interactive operating systems, and remaining are the interactive operating systems. Let's start the batch operating system. The batch operating system, it is an oldest type of an operating system. The batch OS is used where the large data it needs to be processed. The batch OS doesn't interact directly with the user, or user also can't interact with the batch OS or its program. Instead of the directly interaction, the user go for prepare the job offline by using the device like a punch cards and submit the jobs towards the computer operator. The computer operator, it is a component which sorts the submitted jobs as per the same requirement and the same nature and forms the batches. So it is called as a batch operating system. Further, as per this diagram, the batches are sent towards the computer system for the execution. Here, clearly, the diagram mention that the users are preparing their jobs and submit towards the computer operator. The computer operator sorting the jobs and forming the batches, and further it will send towards the computer system for the execution. The batch operating system, here the programmer or the user leaves their job at the operator side, and the operator performs the job of forming the batches as per the jobs of a similar requirements. Then the batch OS would start the actual execution where it uses a serial fashion. It means it executes the jobs one by one. The next job won't start unless the current job has finished. So the OS uses the algorithms like a SJF, FCFS for choosing the job for the execution. The SJF means shortest job first. The FCFS, it means the first come first serve. The best example of an batch operating system, it is a bank where the number of checks are submitted by the number of customers for the processing purpose, but the number of checks processing at the same time, it is a tedious as well as a time consuming job. So processing such a request or such a jobs manually, instead of processing manually, we go for the batch operating system to execute such a jobs. Now let's return the further points. The batch operating system prepare the job using a JCL. JCL means job control language, which has a own set of instructions where the job control language uses its instruction and constitutes the job. Each job has start with a job begin statement and end with a job end statement. Whenever the batch operating system encounter the job begin statement, it will realize or it will understand the job will be start, and it transfer control towards the job for the execution till encountering the job end statement. And after encounter the job end statement, the OS switches to the next job. There will be another component, that is a batch monitor component, which monitors all the jobs. It will decide the sequence which job is executed first and which is next. The batch operating system also performs the memory management job as per below. It divides the memory into two parts. The first part is a permanent residence of all the jobs, data and user program, and the another temporary area where the batch operating system will go for the actual execution or actual processing of the jobs. Now we will turn towards a multi-programming operating system. The batch operating system performs the execution in a serial fashion, so the processes which is executing next will remains in a waiting state for a long period. It also it also a non-interactive operating system. So the multi-programming operating system also a non-interactive operating system, but it eliminates the wait condition of the batch operating system. The multi-programming operating system requires the number of jobs to be kept simultaneously in a main memory, where if we consider the main memory is a too small to accommodate the number of jobs at a time. So here needs arises of backing up. So initially the multi-programming OS kept all the jobs into the disk or a secondary storage. The space where all the jobs are resides in a secondary storage is called a job pool. The job pool consists of all the jobs reside on a disk which are waiting for the allocation of a main memory for the execution purpose. If several jobs are ready to brought into main memory, but there is not enough space to accommodate all those, that time the OS decides which jobs are reside in a main memory. This term is a job scheduling term. Further, the OS select job from the job pool, it loads it into main memory for the execution. If the several jobs are ready to run at a same time, then the OS chooses among them a specific job. It is called as a CPU scheduling. So we can say that the multi-programming operating system performs a job scheduling as well as the CPU scheduling operation for the execution. When the multi-programming operating system places a job in a memory for the execution, and if the job is not ready for the execution, instead it is waiting in a IO operation, that time the OS switches to the next job and program execution control transfer to that job. If that job also not ready, it is also waiting for the IO operation, then OS will go for the next job and so on. In this way, the OS switches among all the jobs which are submitted for the execution in a main memory. So the OS minimizes the waiting time and also avoid the idleness of the CPU. So increase the utilization of the CPU. For justifying it, this diagram clearly shows that in a serial execution, whenever the process is going to the IO operation, that time the next process will be stayed in a wait state. But in a multi-programming operating system, we clearly see that whenever the P1 is in a running state, that time P2 and P3 is in a wait state, and P2 and P3 will perform their IO operations. And whenever the P1 releases the CPU, that time it automatically allocate to the next process, that is a P2, and whenever the P2 releases it, it automatically allocates to the next process, that is a P3. In this way, we have clearly seen that the multi-program operating system eliminates or minimizes the waiting time of the processes which are is in a waiting state. Now we go for the next types of operating system, that is a time sharing operating system. It is a interactive operating system. In a multi-programming system, the OS provide an environment of effective utilization of a resource, but they do not provide a user interaction, and it is the limitation of a multi-programming operating system. To overcome this limitation, the time-sharing operating system provides a interaction among the user and computer system. In a time-sharing system, the CPU executes multiple jobs by switching frequently among them. The switching occurs so frequently, it means it rapidly switches among the jobs. Due to this, the user can interact with each program while the program is in a running. In a time sharing OS uses multi-programming and CPU scheduling to provide a small portion of a time. In this system, each user has a one separate program resides in a main memory. The program loaded in a memory to execute it is called as a process. Whenever the process executes for a short time period, that time the user can interact with by using the IO devices. It gives instruction, he sees the results, or he updates some files. In this way, the user can interact with the user programs. The time sharing operating system tends that only the little time will be allocated to user because it achieves a rapid switching among the different user. Due to this rapidly switching among the different user, the user feels like that the entire system is dedicated to him, even though the system is shared by a number of users or many users. In this diagram, it is clearly mentioned that The number of users are there which are submit their jobs at a same CPU, and the OS have allocate a small time period to each user, and the user efficiently execute their job by using the time sharing operating system. In a time sharing OS, the response time or the interaction time is a reasonable, or we can say it is a very small, too small. So this small or these reasonable switching or reasonable time is achieved by the technique of a swapping. The swapping technique is means that there is a in and out of main memory, or the program. The swapping technique means the processes or the user programs are in and out from a main memory to disk, and from a disk to the main memory. A more common method for achieving this goal is a virtual memory, which will covered in a memory chapter. The virtual memory allows user to execute a larger program than the actual physical memory. The virtual memory, it is nothing but it provides a logical memory and extend the main memory size for occupying the larger program than the physical actual memory. Now we turn towards the multiprocessor OS. The multiprocessor, the name itself suggests that there are the number of processors are connected to each other and shares common bus, memory, and I/O devices. The multiprocessor system is also a interactive operating system like a time sharing system. It is also called as a parallel or a tightly coupled system. Here, the number of processor has in close communication by sharing bus, clock, memory, and other peripheral devices, so it is called as a tightly coupled system. In a multiprocessor OS, number of processors are increases, so the more work done in a less time is achieved. So this operating system increases the throughput of the operating system. It means it will execute larger number of programs in a specific time period than the other operating systems. The multiprocessor operating systems minimizes the cost also by sharing the resources. Whenever the one system or one of the processor among the multiprocessor OS will fail, it doesn't affect on the whole system. Instead of that, the other processor will take charge of that system also and accomplishes its task also, but it affects on the speed of the system, gradually decrease in a speed. There are two types of a multiprocessor OS. The symmetric multiprocessing, where all the processors are its own private memory, but they shared a common memory also. And asymmetric multiprocessor, they have its own private memory and they not share the common memory of the system. In a symmetric multiprocessing system, all the processors are peer, means these are the independent computers. There is no a master-slave relationship among all the processors. Each processor performs all the tasks. There is no one or no any master processor is present to give the instruction to remaining processors. Inversely, in asymmetric multiprocessing, each processor has a specific task. There is a master-slave relationship is present. The master controls all the activities of the remaining processors. It allocates, it schedules the task to the slaves, and all the processors not share the common memory. So in this session we covered the types of an operating system, that is the batch operating system, the multi-programming operating system, the time-sharing operating system, and multi-processing operating systems. So the remaining operating systems are covered in a next session. So see you again in next session. Thank you.